I didn't expect to enjoy Final Fantasy XIV this much in my first few hours playing. For the longest time, I stayed away from Final Fantasy XIV thinking it was overhyped, oversaturated, that it was just going to be another grindfest like World of Warcraft. It came off very intimidating because of the hype that it received last year in 2021. But with that being said, we shouldn't let these reasons stop us from trying out what could be a really amazing game and a really great online experience. And let me say, the hype was right. So far, this game is incredible. And in today's video, I'm going over my first impressions of Final Fantasy XIV Online in 2022. After struggling through Square Enix's horrible website sign-up experience, I created a new account and started my free trial. Before I knew it, I was hooked. I created a bunch of different jobs to see what different questline introductions were about. Each discipline of war or magic or healing or whatever it is started in a different area. Unfortunately, the intro quest lines weren't that much different, but they were different enough to make it feel like a custom catered experience for each of these different characters that I made. I then got a notification from Steam that the complete edition was on sale. And since I was already hooked, I bought it for the juicy sale price it was. Immediately, I checked out the 2 new races that were unlocked for my account. Extremely excited, I logged back in after activating my new expansion key and found out there is a race named the Hrothgar. Surprisingly, this race looks exactly like a character I created from scratch for a comic that I'm writing. I'm not really into role-playing, etc., but this was a new discovery for me, and I couldn't resist recreating my character in the game as accurately as possible. A red hair lion character that can smash the ground with amazing force. It made this game hook into a part of my creative brain that added to my new addiction that was just being formed. The gameplay in Final Fantasy XIV feels good. The melee attacks feel nice and chunky when you land a hit. And the magic spells sound/look fantastic so far. Now would be a great time to remind you all to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you being here as you watch my journey into Final Fantasy XIV and other MMORPGs. I will leave a link in the description for you if you want to check out other MMORPGs that I've tried out. Over the past year, I've stopped playing WoW, and as a 15-year WoW veteran, I started my journey into Guild Wars 2, a wonderful game that has a huge range of experienced/novice players. But Guild Wars 2 is not like every other cookie-cutter MMORPG. It created new game modes, a different way of interacting with players, and really enforces people to play as a team without pressuring you to get the newest, latest gear. Guild Wars 2 is more about skill with your character. So far in Final Fantasy XIV, it's very different than Guild Wars 2 in the fact that it focuses more on the actual adventure and makes me feel more engrossed than any other MMORPG I've played. Maybe it's an unfair advantage because of the core memories I have playing Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts 2. When I opened Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker loading screen for the first time, the music was so addicting. The animations of Final Fantasy XIV are very similar to other Final Fantasy games I've played before. Terms like anima, chocobos, and gil made my nostalgic brain turn on again, and as I started to recall the games I've played as a kid, I immediately understood the type of world that I was going to be placed into. After a few hours of playing, I realized this game will also become very special to me in the years to come. I'm extremely excited to continue this story because I've heard amazing things from other YouTube videos and blog posts that I've watched/read, with trying my best not to spoil anything. Even though this game came out in 2010, the pacing feels very intentional, but the world makes you feel alive and like you're not stuck in this box. And for that reason, it reminded me of my first time playing World of Warcraft. This sense of exploration and adventure in a grandiose manner felt like I was meant to be there. Guild Wars 2 lacked that for me. I never felt like I was meant to be in the quests, but that it was written for me. This fact made me not really dive into the Guild Wars 2 stories. Instead, I heavily focused on the group content, gear, and builds because I found that more fun. It was more satisfying to enjoy team play with guild and open world group content. Final Fantasy XIV feels like I can play it solo and be completely fine. If I want to play any group content though, I can. Right now for me, Final Fantasy XIV is a heartwarming and comforting experience with its extremely animated characters, creatures, and environments. I look forward to continuing my story in A Realm Reborn and seeing everything that Final Fantasy XIV has to offer. With that being said, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.